Hey, what's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to the Investing with Rue YouTube channel. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to buy IPOs or initial public offerings before they come onto the public markets. A lot of people think that you need millions or maybe even hundreds of thousands of dollars at least to buy these pre-IPOs, but the fact of the matter is you don't. And not only that, but it's been around for a while where regular people, regular retail investors like you and I can get into these stocks. Now, normally I don't recommend or just even normally I wouldn't even do this where I buy an IPO because generally they are overpriced and then in the next 6, 9, 12 months, they under deliver on the returns that you gain. But in today's episode, we're going to be talking about a specific IPO, which is Starlink. I'm sure you've heard of the company. And a big reason why I'm following along this company is not just because of their satellite technology, not for their public internet service that they're going to have as well in the future. That is going to probably revolutionize not just internet service, but mobile service, but also the fact that Elon Musk is running the company. And this will be the second official public company that he is running that will come onto the public market, which is very, very exciting, especially knowing the returns that Tesla has brought in the past. And if you would have bought that stock pre-IPO, you would be sitting extremely well and maybe even retired by now. But of course, we can't forget the massive scale that this company is going to provide around the world when it comes to internet service and maybe even mobile phone service as well. I mean, could you imagine the possibility of a world where we don't need companies like T-Mobile or Verizon or AT&T or Comcast or really any other internet provider? Maybe we'll still have fiber around. Again, this is something that could potentially disrupt, just like Tesla did with cars, the way that we interact mobily and overall just electronically. And what I'm talking about might not just exist on this planet, but also on Mars as well. But first, we got to get people there. And I know what you might be thinking. This is just way too far out, man. You've probably been listening to too much Led Zeppelin and watching too many laser shows. But you got to remember, Amazon at one point in time was just a bookstore. And now they pretty much handle everything from A to Z when it comes to products and even getting it delivered to your house. I mean, in certain areas, you can get packages delivered in less than a day. I've had a package delivered in like 2 hours from ordering my item, which is absolutely absurd. And all that is done by one company, something that seemed impossible just a decade ago. And Facebook at its origin was just a dating site for college kids and now is one of the biggest social media companies in the world. But not only that, but they're exploring something, a technology, right? The metaverse. They're exploring a technology that not only hasn't been explored yet, but could offer a bigger reality than the universe that we can at least touch within our phones and devices, right? AR, VR, computers, everything around us is going to change just because of one company. And that didn't even seem possible 10 years ago. So to get these big results, we have to think big. But now you can see why I like Starlink and the possibilities that it might bring in the future. So now let's talk about how to actually buy the Starlink IPO before it comes onto the public market. And to participate in the Starlink IPO, for example, or any IPO that is, you need to create an account with a company, maybe like Freedom Finance, if you're in the UK, or if you're in the United States, you can go with something like Equity Zen. And essentially you just sign up for an account on their platform. You then want to submit a request for the particular IPO that you're looking for. Requesting access to the IPO is seen as like an application. So you actually have to present exactly how much money or how many shares you're willing to purchase. And then next you just wait for the allocation to come in, and dependent on the supply and demand of that IPO will impact exactly how many shares and at what price that you'll get those shares at as well. So if the demand is high for this IPO, you may get less shares than what you applied for originally. Of course, you only will pay for the shares that you actually did end up purchasing. So if you had any extra funds, that will just be accredited back to your account. And that's it. Now you have pre-IPO shares of maybe Starlink IPO or any other IPO that you wanted to get into. But the real question is, when can you sell or trade those shares? Well, you could always buy more once the actual IPO happens on the public markets. But if you wanted to liquidate, sometimes there is a lockup period between maybe like 90 or 180 days. And that just means you can't sell those shares during that period. But after that lockup period is over, you can sell those original pre-IPO shares at whatever the market market value is. Now, what about the Starlink IPO? Do we have any confirmed dates? What will the IPO price be, or what valuation will it be at? Well, first, as far as the dates go, we don't actually have a verified date when the IPO will happen. And I'll make sure to update you guys, whether you follow me on TikTok, YouTube, or Instagram, wherever you follow me. I'll try to update you guys on each platform as soon as we find out about the IPO. But if you do plan to invest, or at least potentially invest in this IPO, I would highly recommend at least starting an Equity Zen account if you live in the United States, or a Freedom Finance account if you live in the UK. That way you are prepared to put in an offer for the pre-IPO shares. But what we do know about the Starlink IPO so far is that Elon Musk said this in an interview. The worldwide broadband network is likely to launch an initial public offering once the aerospace company can predict cash flow reasonably well. And that last statement is very, very important. In order for this company to go public and be a successful public company, and not only that, but they don't want anything to go wrong before they go public. So if they make mistakes while they're private, it's going to be less of a burden than if they were public. And from the sound of that, it seems as if Elon Musk is already knowing the storm that might brew if this company were just to go public right now and be very, very far from profitability, since he's gone down that road with Tesla in the past. Now, as far as the IPO price, we don't know what the price will be, since we don't know how many shares will come onto the public market. But what we do know is the market cap of Starlink will likely be somewhere between the $60 to $100 billion range. I hope you guys found this very, very useful. If you did, make sure to smash the like button. And if you know someone that is interested in buying IPOs pre-IPO before it comes onto the public market, then make sure to share that with them now. And also, if you want to be updated on the Starlink IPO, don't forget to subscribe and turn on all notifications. That way you also never miss awesome pieces of content like this. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Peace out.